everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. Now today it's been hotter across the high desert with 90s, even some triple digits and some 80s on the map. Now by tomorrow we get into an active weather pattern. There have already been some thunderstorms rolling through the high desert, so we're about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at what has been happening, what's going to happen, and how it's going to impact us. We're even going to be looking at some details for the Marks Creek fire in Crook County on Highway 26 on Ochiko Highway. So let's just start off with what it looks like right here and right now. Across Central Oregon, we have a mixture of sunshine and clouds. In a couple of these cameras, you can see some haze. You can even see some vertical development in the cloud cover. But look at this real quick. The bin camera, it's the center bottom camera. One of those clouds, you could actually see some virgo, which is rain falling, just not actually hitting the ground because it's evaporating before it reaches the surface. Now, so far today, we've already had some thunderstorms working their way through the eastern half of our Tri-County area, so mostly Crook County, a little bit of Jefferson County as well. And when we take a closer look, some of those lightning strikes are in and around the Marks Creek fire perimeter and a little bit further to the north and just outside of that. So most of our thunderstorm activity that has been happening has mostly been in Crook and parts of Jefferson and Deschutes County. But so far, in and around Central Oregon, we've already had 271 lightning strikes. And when we set this into motion, we can see that most of the shower and thunderstorm activity, it's been well off to the east. And this one actually has the fire perimeter for the Marks Creek fire. And you can see those thunderstorms getting mighty close. Now, good news, bad news situation. The rain is going to be helping firefighting conditions. But around thunderstorms, winds get really strong. They get gusty with outflow boundaries. So that definitely isn't a good thing with already cured vegetation at the surface for fuels. And any fires that start due to lightning could be spreading rapidly because of similar conditions in the area. But for the most part, thunderstorms have been well to the east of the 97 corridor through Crook County, a little bit in eastern Jefferson and Deschutes County. And this is all part of a bigger plume of moisture that's beginning to impact Central Oregon. With a couple areas of low pressure, we're looking at several days consecutively that showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast and stronger winds around some of those thunderstorms. But on top of that, a big cooling trend is setting up that's going to bring our temperatures well below average. And this weekend is the big shift, the big transition point, that pivot point is through this weekend. So with this system that's already starting to impact us, that plume of moisture coming out of the Four Corners region, we're already starting to see some of those thunderstorms. This is just the beginning of an active weather pattern. Looking at the bigger picture, there's another area of low pressure further out over the Pacific Ocean. That one's really not going to bother us because of this plume of moisture we already have. What it is going to do is it's going to affect the environment, and it's going to send a little bit more Pacific moisture our way, creating higher instability, higher chance of some thunderstorm development. And when we look at the bigger picture, we can see that this plume of moisture is coming off of Baja, where there is another system, a much stronger system that's impacting that area. So when it comes to fire conditions, we already have the dried fuels at the surface. We already have some fires that are burning. We already have smoke that's impacting air quality for parts of the high desert. And these thunderstorms aren't really helping at all. The showers from the thunderstorms are the rain, but new lightning means the new potential for fire starts and high fire danger. When it comes to air quality, we are doing pretty good. Both the hourly average from the DEQ and the real-time sensors from eSpace show that the air quality is good, but there's a lot of smoke on the other side of the Cascades, and that smoke could be coming our way later tonight. The smoke on the other side of the Cascades is from the Immigrant fire, but the Marks Creek fire is putting a little bit more smoke in the air as well. Let's talk about the Marks Creek fire. This one, it continues to develop, but here through the overnight hours, we actually had a different development. We actually learned that after an infrared flight, that the fire perimeter is a little bit smaller than it was previously suggested. And what that means for us is that you've actually seen a downtick in how big this fire is. It didn't shrink. It's just that we actually got an infrared flight in, which means we could see where the hot spots were a little bit closely, much closer than the satellite imagery that I bring you here on at Central Oregon Daily News. So let's dive into the Mark Creek fire. It looks like it continues to grow a little bit outside of the fire perimeter, more more to the south today than to the southeast like it previously has been. And we actually have a couple different things going on here. If you look really closely, it looks like there's two different fire perimeters. There's just one area across National Forest Development Road 100 where we saw that fire expand. But we actually just got word from Central Oregon Fire Info that it looks like in some cases the fire has spread to the other side of the Ochako Highway, or US 26. So that is something we're continuing to track. And when it comes to evacuation zones, they haven't really changed much at all since 10 a.m. yesterday. It looks like a level 1 in Crook County was dropped, but for the most part, that level 3 go now evacuation is still nestled in between Highway 26 and Ochako Creek Road, going further up to the north. Level 2s around that, including the other side, the north side of Highway 26, and level 1s further out. Closer or further out from the actual footprint. So we are continuing to track that. It is at 1,513 acres as of earlier today from when we got the data from that infrared flight. Meanwhile, our smoke forecast does show that through tonight, areas of poor air quality are possible, and the next couple of days, showers are going to help clear the air, but we still have a chance of smoke impacting air quality. Meanwhile, outside of the thunderstorm activity, we are just dry. Now, we do have 28% in Paulina, but that's because some of those thunderstorms are rolling through the area, and some of that is dry lightning. Even though it shows up as rain on radar, because it's so dry near the surface, some of that is evaporating before it reaches the surface, such as the Virga that we saw in one of those cameras. And we are just bone dry through the tri-counties. And going forward through the next couple of days, that's going to change, along with our chance of some precipitation. So we're not going to stay extremely dry because of the showers and thunderstorms that are expected each day. But look at this. Today, it got hot in a few spots. 102 in Warm Springs. That is well above the average high of 82 degrees in Redmond, and 79 is an average high in Bend. And here through the next couple of days, we're not going to be as hot. But when it comes to actual temperatures, as they sit right now, we're in the 90s and 80s with 102 still in Warm Springs. Now, that puts us between 1 and 16 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. Now, earlier today, during the morning hours, we were running between 14 degrees cooler and 12 degrees warmer, but that changed as we progressed through the afternoon and we reached peak heating. We actually saw those numbers change up across Central Oregon. So this is where we're sitting, much warmer than it was 24 hours ago. Tonight, mild conditions are expected. We fall back through the 70s into the 60s. Some 50s and a few 40s are expected, and then through the day tomorrow, not as hot. We're looking at 80s, some 90s, but also a few 70s possible. So your school bus forecast to wrap up the work week shows the average high is 82. We're reaching into the lower to mid 80s with some 90s still possible, so near and above average for this time of the year after that mild start. Now, areas of smoke are expected, but during the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms are going to be a big part of the forecast once again. And each day going forward, Friday and Saturday, there's a chance of thunderstorms. Sunday, some showers are expected. Monday, we get back into the wetter conditions with thunderstorms in the forecast due to another system. But look at that huge drop in temperatures, going from 90s today to 60s by Monday and Tuesday, and it's going to feel like fall across the high desert. Now, our forecast model does show that here through the overnight hours where we have some of those thunderstorms, they begin to fizzle out. Overnight in and out cover by tomorrow afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. And that continues into the evening hours. By Saturday, we repeat that once again. Showers and thunderstorms mostly during the afternoon and evening hours, and then by Sunday, some showers. Once that next system rolls in, we're looking at wetter conditions by Monday. And remember, those temperatures just continue to fall each day as we go forward. Now, looking at the bigger picture, the longer range forecast, the GFS is a long range forecast model, not as high definition, but it still helps paint a picture of what's expected going forward. So by Sunday going into Monday, we see that additional moisture rolling in. Where you're seeing the yellows and oranges, we are looking at a chance of some thunderstorms on Monday. By Tuesday, still afternoon showers are possible. By Wednesday, another round of showers. And then by Thursday, we continue this wet trend through the 7 to 10 day planner. Now, it's not going to be as much rain as we're looking at during the next couple of days. Between now and Saturday at 11 p.m., most of us are going to get wet. So let's take it little by little. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, after today's thunderstorms wrap up, we're not looking at anything additional. And then Friday afternoon, that's when we get those showers and thunderstorms. By Saturday, even more precipitation is expected, so we're just piling on as we go forward. Meanwhile, right here and right now, winds are a little gusty where we have some of those thunderstorms, but outside of thunderstorm activity, mostly just a light breeze, 2 to 12 miles per hour across central Oregon. Now, winds here through this evening are going to be picking up before they come back down to a light breeze overnight. By Friday afternoon, stronger winds during the afternoon and evening hours, and that pattern continues into Saturday. So for tonight, mild conditions are expected, more haze in the planner, some periods of poor air quality, 60s with some 50s and a few 40s, those 40s in higher elevations, particularly where we get a little bit more clearing. Friday, PM thunderstorms back in the planner, 80s and 90s expected, so not as hot, but still well above that average high of 82 degrees. Now, there is a red flag warning in effect for parts of our Tri-County area through the day tomorrow. In fact, let's pull that in real quickly and take a look at that. I forgot to stack that up. I'm sorry about that. So most of Central Oregon has a red flag warning. The Warm Springs Reservation and outside of the Tri-County area, that is a fire weather watch for Friday during the afternoon hours once again. And so with this red flag warning or series of red flag warnings, any fires that start are likely to spread rapidly. The highest potential of fire start tomorrow is going to be thunderstorm activity. But we keep that daily chance of rain through most of the 7-day planner. A huge cool down will bring us from the 90s today through the 80s, through the 70s, into the 60s by early next week. So a huge cool down, bringing us well below average temperatures. We're talking 10 to 20 degrees cooler than it should be for this time of the year, with 60s expected. And one more look at your headlines for this Thursday evening. A big cooling trend is on the way. Fire danger remains high because of the potential of thunderstorm activity, and rain and thunderstorms are expected again tomorrow through Sunday. By early next week, we get another flip in the weather pattern. So that is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.